think it is streaming fine. Hi, very good evening, all of you. Welcome to our live session. So 3 days before NEET MDS, we have come up with the following topic: 18 points you should keep in mind before attending NEET MDS. And before I start the session, please confirm the audio and video streaming. And if you want me to raise my voice, or even better, I can use some earphones if you think there is some resound that's coming out here. Yeah, I'm using my headphones now. One of you please confirm the streaming quality, especially the audio. Yeah, I think we can proceed. Yeah. Anyways, let's start. And if you have any issue, do let me know in the comment section. So first of all, a very good evening, all of you. So how are you guys doing? So are you excited? A few more days to the final exam. And after a long wait, after repeated postponements, finally May 2nd seems to be the date of the exam, as the admit card is also released very recently on 25th April 2022. So yes, I hope you all downloaded your admit card, and also I hope you have gone through the instructions given behind it. So in this video, as I said, the topic will be 18 points you should keep in mind before attending NEET MDS. So let me clarify something. This has nothing to do with the things you should carry on the day of exam. I'm not going to tell you right now like what you should carry and how you should go, at what time you should attend the entrance exam. No, that's not the focus of this live session. So whatever points we're going to discuss now, it is keeping your preparation journey in mind. And right before the entrance, that is mostly on weekend, that is this Saturday or Sunday mostly, we'll do another live session titled checklist, right? So it's like the things you should carry to the entrance exam. Even though the details are already mentioned in admit card and also in information bulletin, but for your benefit, we'll do one final live session this weekend. So I hope you guys are all ready. Yes, audio is also fine. Yeah, if it is a bit loud, do decrease the volume of your video. Right, let's go ahead. And for this live session, I'll be taking help from my friend Neutrino, whom I have introduced yesterday. So it's based on AI, artificial intelligence. So let's take her help and carry out this live session. So I hope you guys are all ready. What are the 18 points that you should keep in mind before attending NEET MDS? So 18 points. First and foremost, I would like to highlight the following. See, usually I keep on reminding you all by saying that each and every one of us is special and unique in our own way, right? See, this is the first thing I would like to highlight. Each and every one of you is special and unique in your own way. See, the reason why I'm trying to highlight this, no matter how the result turns out, no matter how you perform on the entrance day, no matter how things go after the entrance exam, it shouldn't matter, because ultimately you should understand and realize that each and every one of you is special or unique in your own way. There's not going to be another Akash. There's not going to be another Danish. There's not going to be another Rishikesh, or there's not going to be another Priya. So each and every one of you is special and unique in your own way. So please keep this in mind, because this understanding is very significant, as it allows you to contribute in your own manner in this world when you come out of flying colors after your post-graduation. So second point which I wanted to highlight is comparisons are an insult to self. So this is something which I keep on reminding once again. Usually, this entrance is based on comparison. I mean, relative positions, right? So let me just put down here the same. We keep comparing, like if I get some X score, I'll see how my score is relative to the other person. This is all good in entrance perspective. But no matter how the system is, no matter how the education system is, no matter how things are out there, this kind of comparison, it counters the first point. It's an insult to self. So if you have this in mind, I mean, it doesn't matter how much others score. It doesn't matter how much you score. You'll always keep that first point in mind that yes, I'm special or I'm unique in my own way. And I should not resort to comparisons. See, entrance, that's the work of the software to give you a percentile. And that's not your job. So you go out there and perform on the day of entrance, and no matter how much others score, no matter where your position is, always keep in mind that comparison are an insult to self. So don't compare. And instead, you can do one thing. See how you can improve yourself compared to your yesterday. How much improvement are you seeing today compared to your own yesterday? So that would be the best yardstick in order to progress in anyone's life. It can be personal or professional. So do keep that in mind as well. And the third one which I wanted to highlight is your scores. So usually we say if you get some 650 or 700 score in NEET MDS out of 960, right? So let me just put down here. So if you have a good score, usually we say you're a good student. If you have a bad score, we judge and we confidently say that that particular student is not fit for entrance, or he or she is not good. We keep calling names and we treat with so many biases, isn't it? So more marks, usually students get, or aspirants get, more respect. A good rank, a good all India rank, they get all the respect and attention. See, my point is, your scores do not reflect who you are. See, being a director of an academy whose job is to guide students to crack entrance, it might be a surprise when I utter these words, but I'm telling you very frankly, openly, that scores do not reflect who you are. I mean, it's easy for me to say. It's in fact good business for me to say, like, you get higher score, you are awesome. It's easy for me to say that. And in fact, it's good business strategy as well. But in reality, in life, if you keep observing carefully, scores, no, they do not reflect who we are. This is not the yardstick or the right measure which can decide who we are. There are so many factors which play a role in one success. It's not just scores. Scores, of course, we created a kind of system so that we can select some X number of students for X number of seats when there are so many out there competing for limited seats. But these scores do not reflect who you are. I'm stressing this significantly because not everyone can score first rank. Not everyone will get a top mark. out of 25,000 plus aspirants or 26,000 plus aspirants, there will be 26,000 plus ranks. So if we go by this criteria that scores decide who we are, then only the first ranker or first 1,000 rankers should be successful as per this system, and rest of them should fail. In fact, they should stop doing everything in their life because they're failures. No, it doesn't work out that way. In reality, practically speaking, these scores are not the right yardstick or not the basis on which they decide our probability of success. These do not reflect who we are. So what decides who we are? There are certain basic qualities which I keep on reminding, and they reveal who we are, and they are going to be the deciding factors. And as I keep on reminding, it's your hard work, consistency, plus self-belief. Right? So if you have these three factors, if you keep these three factors in mind, no matter what you're doing, success is all yours without any doubt. And of course, if you work hard, if you work consistent, if you believe in yourself, you'll have better scores. But scores alone are not everything. I hope you got the distinction which I'm trying to make here, right? Now, let's move on to the next point, the fourth one. I'll try to improve my handwriting. Yeah. So, as you sow, so shall you reap. You know that saying, right? As you sow, so shall you reap. Yeah. So why are we talking about this? Whenever we succeed, usually there is a tendency that we give all the credit to ourselves. And whenever we fail, right, in terms of societal definition, we keep blaming others. There's no point in doing that because ultimately we'll be fooling ourselves in the process. As you sow, so shall you reap. I mean, if you're putting all the effort, if you're giving your best, if you're dedicated towards the task at hand, if not you, then who is going to crack entrance? If not you, who else is going to experience success? So blaming others, pointing fingers serves no purpose. It will only make us look like a fool. So we don't want that to happen in our lives. We should take charge of who we are and what we do. And we should be responsible for each and everything that happens to us rather than pointing our fingers or blaming others. So as you sow, so shall you reap. So keep this in mind. And, life will give you dividends accordingly without any doubt. And the fifth one, which I wanted to highlight, this is with respect to your preparation. So stop subject discussions now. See, usually discussing subjects, MCQs, new points, concepts with your friends is a welcome move. In fact, it's one of the best and efficient way of learning. Even now you can do that. But the problem with this approach of subject discussion right before the entrance is, it's not possible for us to learn everything and to know everything. So if there is something which we don't know, usually it leads to panic and anxiety. See, if you are at that level in life where you are beyond all of these things, then of course, yes, go ahead, discuss subjects, learn new things even before the entrance and even during your entrance exam. In fact, if you have such a broader perspective, then you learn a lot without any doubt. But in our societal terms, usually, whenever a student comes across something new right before the exam in the form of group discussion, or when they go through something new, it leads to panic and anxiety. So we don't want that to happen now, right? So simply and plainly speaking, stop subject discussions now, stop studying new things now, just focus on revision. The revision means focusing on content which you have already studied prior. So this is going to enhance your confidence, isn't it? So we want this to happen. We want to have enhanced confidence especially before and during the exam, because it plays a major role in your result without any doubt. Take my word. If you are confident, you'll definitely have a comparatively better result than the other side of the coin, that is lack of confidence. So you can cultivate confidence, you can develop confidence through various measures. And one of the things which you shouldn't be doing that would affect your confidence is stopping your subject discussion right now, especially new things, because it might lead to panic or anxiety, isn't it? Yeah. And the next one, the sixth one, which I wanted to highlight is fear or anxiety. Usually, this is something which I keep on hearing in the form of hundreds of comments and mails right before the entrance. Let me just put up the same here. Fear or anxiety. See, there is fear of failure, anxiety because of so many reasons. We feel like we should study a lot and the time is limited, and we want to study or revise everything at least once, 2 days or 3 days before the entrance. So some things are too impractical to achieve. And there are some things like which create terror in us, like what if the exam might get postponed, or what if I fail to recollect certain things. So we can list out, there are so many reasons why we have these negative feelings like fear or anxiety. But if you carefully observe, all of these things these are psychological in nature. These are not actual barriers out there. These are purely psychological. So if you realize that simple fact that these are just psychological in nature, but not the actual barriers in the real world out there, it's in fact a good news, because you can overcome these negative feelings. You can definitely overcome them by certain measures, which we'll discuss in subsequent points. One is visualization technique, which I keep on telling you repeatedly. So usually in majority of the cases, based on my observation and also own experience, I can tell you that the fear or anxiety comes out of the fact that we are worried that we might fail in the entrance exam. So that picturing of negative results usually leads to fear or anxiety. I mean, if you carefully observe and keep digging into the matter. On the contrary, if you visualize that you're going to succeed, if you visualize that like once you achieve the best result possible, just imagine how you would feel, how your parents would feel, how your friends and family would feel. Of course, friends, there are two kinds, those who appreciate us and those who really feel bad for us if we do good. You know, 3 Idiots, right? Yeah. So it all depends. If you have that visualization where you see yourself as a person achieving best result possible, then automatically that gives you a kind of intrinsic motivation, which alleviates all your fear and anxiety. It really works. Even now, even on the day of exam, it really works. Right now, just close your eyes and imagine that you have secured top rank, top mark, best rank, best mark in the upcoming entrance. Right now, do it. Just close your eyes and imagine. Just for 5 seconds. How would you feel? How would you feel, first of all? Let's leave out the society. Let's leave out our parents. Let's leave out our friends. Let's leave out everyone. You got the best result possible. You got the top mark, top rank in the upcoming entrance. How would you feel? I mean, the thought itself, even though it's psychological, has a tremendous impact. Fear and anxiety are also only psychological. Also, they have tremendous impact. At the same time, on the other side of the coin, this positive visualization technique will have a tremendous impact on your current performance, which will ultimately affect your future performance and, in fact, your results. So, fear and anxiety, as I said, these are just psychological elements, and you can overcome them. They're not real barriers in life. You can overcome them once you follow this. One of the measures which I said, that is visualization technique. And it can be any reason for fear and anxiety. If you go deeper and try to address it, instead of running away from it, you'll definitely overcome these psychological elements, right? And the seventh one, which I wanted to highlight here, excitement or enthusiasm. This is very, very important, because majority of you might be confused that you're having fear or anxiety, but in fact, it could be an excitement because you're taking up the entrance exam, which is definitely a big deal in a country like ours. So excitement or enthusiasm. In fact, it's a very good thing if you're excited, if you're enthusiastic, if you're looking forward. It's a very positive thing to happen. Excitement and enthusiasm. It means it's like if you visualize a positive end result. If you're looking forward to crack entry, you're looking forward to progress in your professional career, including your personal life, then obviously you'll have this feelings of excitement and enthusiasm. Please keep that in mind as well. And don't get confused like this is a negative feeling. No, this is not at all a negative feeling. It's in fact very good. Before a running race or before any competition, usually we're excited. We're looking forward. We're enthused, right? After thorough practice. It's not fear or anxiety, but it could be a sense of excitement, which is definitely a wonderful positive sign. And the eighth one, which I wanted to highlight, other scores. See, previously I mentioned about sports and all, but here I would like to talk about other scores. So this is again something which I'm getting very repeatedly through mails and also in the form of comments. If we score 560 or 580 or 600, and if others score 600, 650 or 700, we're not even appreciating what we are scoring, but rather we're worried that the other person is doing well. See, if other person is doing well, it's good for him or her. Even if we don't appreciate that, let's leave it out. The focus should be on our score because see, we cannot decide how the other person is going to perform on the day of exam. We cannot do it like Chatur in 3 Idiots, supplying filmy magazines or distracting others. I mean, that's time waste. Rather, the best utilization of time happens when we focus on ourselves. Instead of worrying about other scores. I mean, if, as I said, if others are doing good, let's appreciate them. And if we don't have such a big heart to appreciate them, at least let's leave them out of our mind and focus on what best we can do. If we are scoring 460 or 500 or 560, check out the scores. We are providing you grant tests at a very, very, affordable prices. And just 100 rupees we're charging for one grant test so that we can provide majority of you with these grant tests via our test series. So once you submit any grant test, why don't you just check your result and where you have done your mistakes and how to overcome them the next time. So if you have that focus on you, then that's how you'll progress eventually, and other scores should not affect you. So this is one of the greatest barriers which aspirants usually face. It's not their scores that affect them, it's other scores that affect them. I mean, I'm not saying that you're bad in this context, but it's a human tendency. Comparisons are human tendencies. Because we are social animals, these things do happen. But because we are evolved social animals, we should be beyond this. At least that's my desire. Even though it seems unrealistic sometimes, but that's my sincere desire. I mean, as social animals, we have these tendencies to compare and to have those feelings of jealousy, etc. But we should be beyond them because we are evolved, we are super intelligent, even intelligent than neutrino, right? So other scores should not affect us. Instead, let's focus on our own score and see how we can improve the same. So that's another thing which I want you guys to keep in mind, especially before the entrance when you're taking up or practicing several grant tests. And ninth one which I wanted to highlight is, before I proceed, are we doing fine, or do you want me to go at an even slower pace? I'm not getting any comments from you guys, so let me just go through your comments once. Rishikesh, hi Rishikesh, again the first comment. Hi Dominique. Ignatius, yes, I have some general questions also. I'll get back to you guys in Q&A after discussing these 18 points, right? Are we doing good? Can we proceed? Hi Akash, hi Dent, hi Ritu. So Dent is saying like it's already 9:05, start soon. We never say such things to Insta or Facebook, right? We spend infinite amount of time on Facebook walls, Insta reels, but I really appreciate your enthusiasm, Dent. And I really wish that once you enter into post-graduation, you convey the same message to your faculty if there is any delay in start of your clinical or academic session. I mean, that would be amazing. Amazing, because it means you're carrying that same amount of enthusiasm which you're showing on social media platforms. Hi, Priya. Akash, okay, it's fine. Yeah, Danish, there is some trend going on. Okay, okay. Yeah, we'll get back to that. Even I have been checking it out. We'll get back to that. Yeah. Hi, Janhavi. Fine. Sai Rajat, literally into the words you have been saying. Please carry on. Okay, that's fantastic to hear. Right. So, out of 18, we covered 8. We just have 10 more. So, we'll try to complete them as soon as possible. And I would like to spend more time interacting with you. Now, ninth one, which I wanted to highlight is, yeah, this is again very, very important when it comes to your preparation. And this is something which is most, I would say, underrated. This word is very much underrated. Let me take an eraser and try to adjust this. Yeah, perfect. Mindfulness. I'm not talking just about mindfulness in preparation, but also mindfulness on the day of exam, because this will help you avoid trap questions. See, for example, we have been discussing some trap questions on YouTube, and also if I say all of the following are true except, so which of the following is false, except, find out the true statement, except. So when you have this negative connotation, like except, all of the following are true. When you don't go through the entire question in its entirety, there is a greater tendency for you to make a mistake. So whenever you're going through any MCQ, as I mentioned prior, go through it at least twice. Even if you feel like the first option is the right answer, it could be a trap, who knows? So my point is, even if you feel like the first option is the right answer, do go through all the options without missing out. And as I said, to avoid traps, you should be very much mindful, or else that would be a costly mistake. And see, as I said in one of the previous videos, if the question is very tough, if you have no idea, if you don't answer, that's absolutely fine. But if you are aware of the answer, if the question is relatively easy for you, and if you make a mistake, the so-called silly mistake, that is something which should never ever happen. Okay, so through mindfulness, you can enhance your scores accordingly. Helps you to avoid trap questions, or helps you to avoid committing the so-called silly mistakes, right? So please keep this in mind and consider this very, very important, as this has a means to enable you enhance your scores. And 10th point, which I wanted to highlight and want you guys to keep in mind is, you all have a choice to be confident and optimistic. See, this has so much impact on your entrance preparation, on the entrance exam, that, as I said previously, you take two people, one person who is super confident, the other person who is fearful, anxious. When you compare these both guys, obviously the guy who is super confident, optimistic, will have a better score. I mean, we don't need much of the studies to prove the same. It's a simple psychology-based fact. Let's take Vivo, for example. Of course, there can be mistakes. However, if you're confident, if you believe in yourself, and if you're optimistic, your scores will be much better than the person who is not confident, or who is afraid, or who is anxious, isn't it? So you can say like, no, this entrance is a big deal. We are feeling anxious or fear, as mentioned in point 6, right? But you all have a choice. You all have a choice to be confident and optimistic. Don't you think you have a choice? Do you think someone is forcing you to be afraid of all of these things that are happening out there? Or do you think it's you who is responsible for your current state of mind? Please do answer. Who do you think is responsible for your current state of mind? Someone else? NBE? The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare? Or is it me? Or is it your parents? Who on earth is responsible for your current state of mind? I want you guys to please answer this question. Is it you or is it someone else? So let me ask that here again. So who on earth is responsible for your current state of mind? Come on. Who do you think is responsible? I want you to answer this question because it has so much profoundness in it. Once or the moment you realize that I'm responsible for my state of mind, or you are responsible for your own state of mind, you can do amazing things. You can achieve amazing things in your life. Take my word for it. Yes. Okay, now let's move on to the 11th point, which I wanted to highlight. Again, let me use a black pen. Or let's fancy with a green one. So 11th point, which I want you guys to keep in mind. See, availability bias. So this is something which I would like to highlight. Availability bias. See, if you have a doubt, you're going through some test series questions or you're going through some content which you have a doubt. Usually 99% of the time, we Google for the answer. It's because of this factor called availability bias. Because it's easily available, because it's convenient, we tend to search our questions in Google. But believe me when I say this, all the answers that you get, almost all the answers which you get just via Google search are not reliable. You cannot rely on third-party websites. You have to depend on this PubMed indexed articles. And even before that, we have this so-called standard textbooks. If you don't have textbooks, then maybe you can rely on these PubMed indexed articles. Standard textbook references and PubMed indexed articles are the sources from which you should obtain your information, which is standardized, which is reliable. If you simply rely on Google, SlideShare, or some third-party websites, if you simply rely on information over there is a greater chance for you to commit mistakes. And even if you lose one question in that process, which means you're losing not just 1/4. If you lost that potential to score +4, isn't it? So you'll be losing 5 marks if you commit mistake in such a question. Don't you think so? So please keep that in mind. Such a mistake would be very, very costly. So do not get yourself into this trap of availability bias. Those who put the effort to search from standard references, even now for that matter, right? You'll have an edge over others because this is a competitive exam, percentile basis. Obviously, you should do better, right? Yeah. Even if you want to go at a higher level, let's leave out others in this race. Even for you personally, without any comparison, if you want to improve and get standard reliable information, it is the standard sources that you must be following. For that matter, once you enter into post-graduation, once you are in your professional career practicing, it's not at all advised to just rely on these non-standard resources, right? So that is something which I wanted to highlight. Please keep that in mind. Now, let's move on to the next point. 12th one, which I want you guys to keep in mind, is overdoing anything for that matter, but especially revision. See, we don't want this to happen. See, we only have 24 hours, right? Okay, 2 and 4 combined, we only have 24 hours in a day. But we feel like we want to incorporate the entire year in that 24-hour cycle, which is practically not feasible, and we end up in stress and anxiety. Do not overdo revision. Do not set yourself unrealistic targets. Say no to unrealistic targets. Like, for example, I have to complete this 5 subjects or 10 subjects revision in a matter of 2 days. No, don't let that happen. Do not overdo things. It only leads to stress and anxiety. And moreover, it's not necessary. It's not just about necessity, but doing such things would lead to affecting your confidence. So it's a counterproductive strategy. So whenever we do things, it should help us enhance our confidence level. As we keep on reminding, but overdoing certain things would negatively affect your confidence, and you don't want that to happen. So try to be practical when you're revising stuff, when you're revising content. If you're spending a couple of hours per day, that's more than enough. Studying anything extra now by compensating other things like food and sleep is not going to do any good for you at all, right? So remember, you have been preparing for more than a year. I don't think extra revision in the last day or just before the exam would really make any difference. Just make sure that you're not overdoing it. And that's something which I wanted to highlight. And the 13th one, this is something which is related to what I mentioned prior. Sleep or eat well. So usually it is during this time that students tend to compensate the sleep for preparation, right? So no compensation. It's like we'll be oversmart and we feel like, yes, let me sleep for only 3 to 4 hours so that I can utilize the rest 20, 23 hours or 24 hours, whatever it is, towards preparation. Again, that would be unrealistic. When you don't sleep properly, how can you be active? How can you give your best? It's a very simple logic. Respecting your biological clock is very, very important. And this is something which I cannot stress even further. Just try to respect your biological clock even before the entrance exam. If you don't sleep, if you don't eat well, if you're not doing this on a time-to-time basis, then it will affect your day, which will negatively affect your preparation, okay? And the 14th one, which I wanted to highlight is I'm just trying to use another color. You're all feeling stressed right now? Talk to me. Talk to your loved ones. See, this is one of the best things which I implemented in my preparation. I mean, it happens spontaneously. Whenever you feel stressed, what is that you do? Usually I get mails, comments, hundreds of them. Of course, you can even talk to your loved ones. It can be your parents at home. It can be your boyfriend, a girlfriend, or your close friend, or your relatives, or any person whom you trust, your teachers, including myself. Talk to them. Talking to your loved ones will greatly help you overcome any kind of stress or anxiety. And in that process, what we are trying to do is, usually before any answer, I call students personally. And of course, even you can call me. So I'm just sharing my number in public online. I hope I'll not get much of this spam like I usually get whenever I share my number on a public platform. Thank God I'm not a girl, or else I would be bombarded with even more spam calls. So this is my number. You can call me, right? I don't use WhatsApp. I personally don't use Telegram. Only through groups we interact. But if you want to talk to me, feel free to call me at this number. If I'm not able to take up your call, right? Please don't call me now. Anyways, it's do not disturb mode. If I fail to take up your call, if maybe because of several reasons, like if I'm in live session or if I'm attending some other aspects, like going through your test series, e-classes, etc. If I get a missed call, I'll definitely call back again. Or it would be more convenient if you share your number to me personally through mail at howtobedentist@gmail.com. So drop your number, proud to be dentist, no spaces, @gmail.com. So this is our official mail ID, and all mails, I'll be going through them personally. So you can drop your number here, I'll call you, and it's okay. Even if you call me, that's absolutely fine. Okay, you can talk to me, we can talk, and we can alleviate all your fear and anxiety. So we have still 2 or 3 days before the exam, and we'll definitely interact through call at least once. Okay, deal. Right, now 15th point, which I would like to highlight is, yeah, this is again something related to stress. One of the students was asking me, like, I'm very much stressed, can I watch a movie? Of course, yes. Entertain yourself. Just because exam is yourself. Let me use an eraser. I have this psychological issue that if I do something wrong, I have to correct it right away. Entertain yourself and you deserve it. Just because you have exam round the corner, it doesn't mean that you have to keep studying on and on and on, which only leads to passivation, anxiety, and even panic attacks. So entertain yourself. You can watch a movie, play with your kids, play with your loved ones, take a break, go on a drive, do anything you want, but make sure that you are trying to maintain that cool in the process. And if these things are again leading to stress and anxiety because of the thought that you're not spending time towards preparation, then it doesn't help you in alleviating fear or anxiety. In my opinion, I would definitely encourage you all to entertain yourself, take a break. And for that matter, one day before the entrance, do not study at all. Just 1 hour, revise quickly your notes, and then leave it only for 1 hour. That's it. Rest of the time, just relax and chill. Because only when you're cool and confident, you can perform better on the day of exam. See, surprisingly, I see students, especially high school students, studying, like their father or mother will be taking them to the exam center, which is a very common sight in states of Andhra and Telangana. I don't know exactly how the scenario is in other states, especially north. So the student or the kid, girl or boy, they sit behind a pillion driver and they open the book and they keep revising as they are traveling to the exam or test center. We do not want that. It's not necessary. Just for sake of your satisfaction, if you keep doing it, it only leads to anxiety, stress, and pressure. Even I did that during my +2. That's very funny, right? So it's not required. Please don't do that. Don't keep studying till the last minute. It serves no purpose. No purpose. Take my word. Okay? Yeah. So that is something which I want you guys to keep in mind. And yeah, 16th one, we still have 3 more points. That's it. And then I'll get back to your Q&A. This is my favorite. This is really my favorite. Feeding anything is my favorite. Feed your subconscious mind. Okay. Feed your subconscious mind with positive inputs. This is very, very important. This is something which is really underrated again and mostly taken for granted. But believe me when I say, if you keep telling yourself that you're going to do good, you're going to do better, you're going to give your best, the same will happen. That's called as manifestation. It's simply a process of manifestation. Like once you keep telling yourself, once you keep implanting these positive inputs like seeds in your subconscious mind, especially during sleep, right before you enter into deep sleep, we have these phases, right? Alpha wave, beta wave, and all. So when you are in your subconscious state, like once you are about to enter into deep sleep, and at that point, if you keep implanting these positive ideas or positive inputs into your subconscious mind in a kind of dream state, right? That really has a tremendous impact on your life, personally and professionally. So keep telling yourself that you're going to do the best possible thing in the entrance exam. Keep telling yourself that you have given your best. Keep telling yourself that you will get the best result possible. Keep implanting this positive input to your mind, to your subconscious mind in specific. That will have a better or greater manifestation in your personal as well as professional life, and do not take it for granted. So this is something which is my favorite, and I want you guys to keep in mind. And I would suggest you, right, just before you sleep, just repeat certain things like, I'm going to crack entrance, I'm going to give my best, I'm going to enjoy the process, and that's what matters ultimately, right? And the penultimate one, again, my personal favorite. Life doesn't end with an entrance exam, or in other words, an entrance exam cannot decide everything for you in your life. Life doesn't end. Unfortunately, for majority of us, entrance exam is so significant that we feel like if we fail, our life comes to an end. The earth stops rotating or revolving or whatever. So it's like we create our own reality, and that reality goes around this entrance exam. If we do well in entrance exam, our life is going to be amazing. At least that's what we keep telling ourselves. And if we fail in entrance exam, our life is going to turn into SHIT. So, I mean, this is complete and utter nonsense. Life doesn't end with an entrance exam. An entrance exam cannot decide who you are, or what you have, or what you're going to do, or what you're capable to do. An entrance exam cannot decide. An entrance exam is just an entrance exam for that particular context. The NEET MDS context, we have some limited seats, we have thousands of aspirants. So to select some specific number in that huge pool, we have this entrance exam. So no matter how much you score, no matter how well you do, it's not going to decide everything for you. It's just an entrance exam for that particular context. Please keep that in mind. And in life, still there is a lot to achieve, a lot to learn, and life doesn't end with an entrance exam. Life goes on. And irrespective of how much you score, regardless of your performance in an entrance exam, if you keep these three qualities in mind, that is hard work, consistency, and self-belief, you take up any task, you take up any project, you're going to emerge successful. In fact, you'll start experiencing success each and every moment. Of course, yes, there will be challenges in life. Of course, yes, there will be so many ups and downs in life, but it's all part and parcel of learning, right? As I say, there is only winning and learning. There is nothing like losing. Either win or you either learn. That's it. As simple as that. And finally, the 18th point which I want you guys to keep in mind is, enjoy the process. So this is very simple to say and also very simple to follow. Enjoy the process. Because if you enjoy the process, you'll have successful results as natural consequence. Don't you think so? So enjoying the process is the key. I mean, when I say this, you might ask me like, no, this entrance is very stressful. Our lives are at stake. Our professional careers are at stake. No, this is something which we are creating due to so many factors. But if you're not enjoying the process, if you're not focusing on the process, I would say there is no point in doing it. Because ultimately, whether you score well or whether you score low, it doesn't matter. All that matters is how was your experience? Once you look back and see this last 1 year or 1.5 years, the experience itself matters the most. Of course, with the best result possible, it will be like a cherry on a topping, or it will be like a cherry on an ice cream. We want that to happen, right? So enjoy the process, because once you enjoy the process, you'll have successful results as a natural consequence. So please keep that in mind. So this will be probably our last or penultimate live session. So I want you all to have this kind of expression, okay? The smile should be in this direction, but not in this direction. And let me complete with some hands and feet. Okay, it appears like an antenna, right? Let me draw some hair. Earrings. Okay, this is fine. In fact, I saved that entire writing and I'll be sharing that with you. Even though it's my own handwriting, it's not that good, I know, but I can still improve. And this is the first time I'm using Neutrino's help, so I'm sure I'll improve with time. Yeah, let me just quickly go through your comments and let me try to address as many as possible. Almost done. Yeah, Damini was first highlighting about some news about postponement of NEET MDS. See, first of all, it's unfortunate that 2016 batch in specific, they still do not have eligibility for this upcoming entrance. Some of them, even though the internship deadline has been extended till July 31st, 2022, still some of them will be completing their internship in August or September. It's unfortunate that they are not getting that eligibility criteria. And also there is no news on deferment of NEET MDS. NEET PG, they're asking for postponement by 8 to 10 weeks. Even I'll come across that news. If NEET PG 2022 is postponed, then some particular students are raising an issue that previously government stated that NEET PG and NEET MDS should be conducted simultaneously for parity. So they're taking out those statements and they are trying to justify the postponement of NEET MDS again by 8 to 10. So that is something which is there in the hands of the government. As of now, admit cards are out, as we all know, for NEET MDS 2022, and the exam is on May 2nd, 2022. So in this short duration, I don't think there will be any breaking news further. The entrance has already been postponed repeatedly. Previously, it was in December, in the month of December, again postponed to June, again March, now May. And if it gets postponed again, I mean, this would be the craziest thing which we had ever seen in the history of NEET MDS. And I don't think that is going to happen. So if anyone is anticipating for postponement, it's better you move on and carry on with your next NEET MDS preparation. But if you want to fight, of course, as a democratic nation, you all have the choice. You can take up your issue to the courts, and that's what some of you guys have done previously. And before courts could give out the verdict, the government has intervened and they have postponed, right, after getting so many representations. But my stand is very clear. No one should be kept out of the loop. It's unfortunate that 2016 batch, because of COVID, because of pandemic, are taking the brunt. In fact, we have written a letter to the Prime Minister, to the DCI, and a couple of officials, keeping 2016 batch and keeping aspirants who were left out of NEET MDS 2022 previously in the month of February or March. I don't exactly remember the date, but I have personally written letters. And in fact, the components of letters were used in the court. One of the students was telling me, like the letters which I submitted, they have taken out some points from that and they have used that to extend their cause or to further their cause for postponement of entrance exam. So I want justice to happen, but equality, justice, sometimes it's a hard thing to do in a complex, diverse country like ours. We're talking about a single entrance. Please try to understand this instead of getting angry at others or pointing out fingers. Everyone has their own role. Everyone has their own challenges. Majority of them might get angry, like why the sentence is getting postponed. But remember, we're dealing with a complex situation here. And moreover, pandemic has really blown us away, giving us all kinds of challenges. So anyways, whatever has happened has happened. And at least from next year, right? In fact, there has been an update from DCI previously stating that from next year, internship should be completed by March 31st so that students will be eligible for NEET MDS entrances without any issue. At least from next year, let's hope that these issues will not be repeated. But for this year, I don't see any further postponement personally. Even previously, I thought the same. When the entrance was in March, I thought like entrance would not get further postponed. And even I was shocked to know that it has been postponed again. So all I can say is let's wait and see. And I personally don't think that entrance is going to be postponed again. And May 2nd will be the final exam day. Having said that, even I'm personally going through natboard.edu.in and b.edu.in almost every day after hearing about this defer NEET MDS trend that's going on Twitter. Yeah. Hi, Ignatius, a very good evening. Yeah, Danish, there is some trend going on defer NEET MDS. It's so disturbing at this stage. I know better is to ignore such distractions. So of course, it's better to affect this distraction. Practically speaking, when something that's happening out there is related to us, it's really hard not to stay out of the loop. We tend to get sucked in. So that's the reason I'm telling you, like, no matter what's happening out there, no matter what kind of news is being published in these traditional media channels, just rely on information given in natboard.edu.in and nb.edu.in. Just rely on that. And in fact, the updates which we share from our side also are from these official websites. And whatever information you get over there, that is standard and that is final, right? Janvi, hi Janvi, glad to hear that you're fine. Sai Rajat, hi. Amina, sir, is there any specification for the photograph that has to be fixed as a photo with name and date? I don't think so. Any normal passport size photo would do, Amina. But I suggest you to check out the admit card once again. I remember admit card saying that, as far as my knowledge is concerned, just affix your passport size, recent passport size photo. Passport size photo means passport size photo. Okay, just go through that admit card once again, and if you want confirmation, it's better to contact and be helpline. Okay. Yes, Ritu, Sai Rajat, so you're all answering to the question like, who is responsible for your current state of mind? Of course, I'm responsible for my current state of mind. You are responsible for your current state of mind. There can be influences, practically speaking, others can influence us or have the potential to influence us. But ultimately, we are in charge of the system, isn't it? Yeah, Sai Rajat, not stressed, honestly, just want this to be done for once and all. Been waiting for this day since quite a while. Okay, Ritu, thank you so much for this video. Really needed all points, so really helpful in this moment. Glad to hear that, Ritu. Sai Rajat, thanks a lot for your motivating words as always. You're welcome, Sai Rajat. Maria, so what's the comment you retracted? Pooja, you're welcome, Pooja. Maria, sir, when will NEET 2023 be? I cannot predict exactly, Maria, but one thing I can tell you is, if you're preparing for NEET MDS 2023, assume that it's going to be in December and plan your preparation accordingly. Right? But since this year the exam is going to be conducted in May, anticipate delay. But when you're planning your preparation, keep December in your mind and plan your preparation accordingly. Check out our Neo 9 batch towards NEET MDS 2023, where we launched a new schedule from the month of April, keeping December in mind. Okay. Yeah. You can get back through mail at crowdtobedentist@gmail.com for all details. Priya, hi Priya, you're welcome. Jyotika, hello sir, I'm BDS first year student. Glad to hear from you, Jyotika. So, which college are you from and which place are you joining us now? Okay, that's good. So it's really wonderful to have this kind of interaction. And in the coming days, we'll get back with a couple more videos before your final exam. And I really hope that this live session was helpful for you. And your feedback is always welcome. And if you have any further queries, you need any further assistance, feel free to contact us through mail at proudtobedentist@gmail.com 24/7. So wish you all the best. Love you all. Good night. Take care.